Over the past several years, not just since the advent of democracy, but perhaps preceding it, we have had a gradual deindustrialization in South Africa. And thus, we have begun somewhat to lose the edge in terms of technological advances. They cited several reasons, but among them was the past propensity to build our scientific and base out of large state-supported projects, and that insufficient attention was given to ensuring that we had a firm institutional base that would constantly be focused upon ensuring we modernize technology, we review, we renew at every phase of development. So the focus on projects tended to remove us away from looking at how, as a society, we use technology and research and development to respond to local and global problems. We had big projects, lots of money coming to some of our institutions, but we didn't really look at what role technology can play in modernization of South Africa, in supporting development. To ensure that much more is being done, to ensure that the work being done in all our science councils really responds to the core challenges that South Africa faces. It wouldn't be any use to our country if we had wonderful ideas and developments, and yet we remained with a large poor population that had no access to energy, that didn't have clean water, and that didn't have food security. So I'm hoping that as you deliberate, particularly in the breakaway groups, and as you observe the work that's being done here by the CSIR, you would begin to comment somewhat on how we may begin to use what are quite amazing strengths in our country. We have amazing capabilities. Maybe you'd help us by directing us as to how we could maximize the use of those capabilities toward addressing the core development challenges of our country.
Investments in science and technology are increasingly important for economic growth. While it is not possible to demonstrate a direct causation between the rates of investment in research and development and outcomes in terms of increased national gross domestic product, GDP, it is true that a growing level of investment in research and development is generally correlated with improved GDP growth outcomes. When national research and development activities are taken as a whole, it is seen that the high-income industrialized nations like Australia, Canada, Japan, South Korea, the United States, and the Northern and Western Europe all spend between 1.5% to 3.8% of their GDP on research and development. National governments in developing nations should increase their spending considerably, certainly above 1% of the GDP, and preferably closer to 1.5% if there is to be any hope of not falling further behind the industrialized nations.